Hari Om, Swagatam to our Dakshinamurty Stotram Satsangam. Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Sruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Sri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Dakshinamurty Stotram we chant. पहले meditation verses. Dhyana slokam. Maunau vyakya prakatita parabrahma tattvam yuvanam Varshishthante vasadrishiganaihi Avrutam brahmanishthaihi Acharyendram karakalita chinmudram anandarupam Swatma ramam mudita vadanam Dakshinamurty Mide Vatavitapi samipe bhumi bhage nishannam Sakala munijananam jnanadataramarat Tribhuvana gurumisham Dakshinamurty devam Janana marana dukkha cheda daksham namami Chitram vatataror mule Vruddha sishya gurur yuva Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam Shishyastu chinna samshayaha Nidhaye sarva vidyanam Bhishaje bhavaroginam Gurave sarva lokanam Dakshinamurtaye namaha. Om Namah Pranavardhaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवः उद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महा योगी वयः स्वेच्छया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत् कल्पार्धकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यः साक्षात्करणाद् भवेन्न पुनः आवृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. Until here we have discussed in Dakshinamurty Stotram, verse number 1, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he explained about Jivan Mukta Purusha, whom you can call as a Jivan Mukta Purusha. In verse number 2, he explained about Ishvara, who is the cause of this entire world. In verse number 3, he explained whom we can call as Guru, teacher. And he explained, at the same time, he explained what is the result of his teaching. Yo bodhayati asritam. Main theme of the third verse is Yaha bodhayati asritam. For the Shishyagana, for the students, he teaches. He is the teacher, and he explained whom we can call as a teacher. Now we are going to start verse number 4 in Dakshinamurty Stotram. That Brahma, Parabrahma, and Sadguru both are same. That's why we say Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. So in verse number 1, if anybody asks who is Guru, we say Guru is none other than Brahma. Brahma. That Paramatma. This Brahma has 3 aspects. We can say that way. One is called Sat aspect. We call it as pure existence. Sat aspect. Second one is called Chit aspect, pure consciousness. And the third one is called Ananda aspect, that is called bliss. Sat Chit Ananda Swarupam is Guru. Satchidananda Swarupam Guru. In bhajans also we sing Satchidananda Guru, Sinmayananda Guru. So Guru is none other than that Satchidananda Swarupam. Okay, na? Bhagavan Shankaracharya's style, in verse number 3, he explained about Sat aspect of Brahma. Guru is none other than that pure existence. He said, Sadatmakam. Sadatmakam means he is Sat Atmakam. By nature, he is pure existence. That word he used in verse number 3. Sadatmakam means, Atmakam means by nature. By nature, he is Sat, pure existence. And then he explained, because of him only, the entire world is getting existence. That is Sadguru. And in detail, he explained the Sat aspect. Sat aspect of Parabrahma was discussed in verse number 3. Now, in verse number 4, teacher wants to tell about Chitta aspect of Brahma. This Chit only we call as Jnanam. Pure knowledge, pure awareness, pure consciousness, whatever the words we use, but this is all for Chitta. That Chitta aspect will be explained in verse number 4. This is the first point we must note. Okay, Swamiji. Next point. This Satta and Chitta, these two belongs to Dakshinamurty. They are not belongs to world. This Sat and Chitta belongs to Brahma, not Jagat. Jagat is getting light, Jagat is getting shining. Because of that Brahman aspects. Why, Swamiji, you brought this point? Because our general knowledge is world by itself existed. World by itself shining. But this is wrong knowledge. World cannot exist by itself. World cannot have awareness by itself. For example, I will give one example. One object is there. I am going for shopping. On the way, there was for example, a car showroom is there. Now this car showroom is an object in the world. I am a Dakshinamurti, for example. I am a Jiva Purusha. When I am going on my way, if I don't aware of that car shopping mall, as though car shopping mall cannot shine itself. It cannot say, oh, my dear Venkata Chaitanyaji, please come, please come. I am the car showroom. You come and enjoy me. It cannot say. That's what I want to say. World doesn't have self-awareness. The source of awareness, the core of awareness is myself. If I see, that will get illumination. So the Sat aspect and Chitta aspect belong to Brahma Swarupam, which is there in Satchidananda Atma Swarup and everyone. Because of it, world may get light. Many objects are there, different uses are there. This is all because of its presence. So now the main boss is whom, Swamiji, for the entire transaction? The boss is ourself. Ourself. In the form of pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss, it is shining always. Wherever it goes, that is getting light. If it doesn't go, it cannot say, please enjoy me, please see me. World is a Jada Vastu only. Now see, where is the core principle for the knowledge? Our understanding must be core principle for the knowledge is me, myself. If the light in me, then only world will get light. That he wants to tell in verse number 4. This is the main thinking in Vedanta, sir. We give more importance to world because we think world is bigger than me. World is greater than me. World is powerful than me. But that is wrong. You are the big object. You are the greater. You are giving life to world. Not world is giving life to you. That is the Vedanta thinking. Then we will search what is that. We will kind that's nothing than our own nature, our own self. Satchidananda Parabrahma. That he will explain in verse number 4. And one more point. That is point number 3. These are all the introduction to verse number 4. What is that point number 3, Swamiji? Entire suffering is because of ignorance. We cannot label anything. The cause for dukkham is ajnanam matra eva, ajnanam eva. Ignorance is the cause for the entire suffering. In Vedantic language, we call it as avidya. This avidya is 2 types. Our teachers, they say this avidya, this ignorance is 2 types. One is called Moola Avidya. Moola Avidya. This ignorance, this Moola Avidya, what it does, it covers myself from me. We can call it as a subjective ignorance. I myself personally has that ignorance. What is that nature of that ignorance, Swamiji? I don't know who am I. It covers myself only, and I don't know who am I. See what a trick it is. I don't know, Swamiji, who am I? I know, Swamiji, who am I? Myself, Brahmachari. I born so and so date. I am a citizen of India. What are you talking, Swamiji? I know. This play is called Moola Avidya. It doesn't allow us to penetrate through and to know the reality of myself. This Ramachandramurti, this physical body, this mental structure, my dear Murti, every minute this is changing. Where was yesterday's Ramachandramurti? Where was boy Ramachandramurti? Where was the infant Ramachandramurti? Where was Ramachandramurti before this birth? Swamiji, that way I don't know, Swamiji. That is called Moola Avidya. Second one is called Tola Avidya, they say. This is also one type of ignorance only. Tola Avidya. Tola Avidya means this avidya covers the world. If anybody asks what is this world, we say world is nothing but names and forms and qualities and different uses, not uses, this, we say. But in fact, world also Brahma only. World is not plurality, world also Ekasatyam only, which is covering the entire world truth and presenting the same world in different way. That avidya is called Tola Avidya. Because of these two only, entire suffering. We are not properly interacting with the world. We are not properly taking ourselves. All the time we are saying, I am a limited creature, Swamiji. I am a fool, Swamiji. I don't know, Swamiji. That's why it happens. Regarding world also, Swamiji, if I get that, happiness will come. If I lose this, happiness will come. And we play with objects only, but we cannot penetrate what is behind that objects and beings. Who is stopping there, that is called Tola Vidya. Who is stopping here, that is called Moola Vidya. In verse number 4, Bhagavan Shankaracharya wants to tell, if you want to remove both, you must know the apparition in you, how this pure consciousness is working. And the teacher is saying, because of that consciousness only, everything is getting light, even though how this avidya is covering. If you know the working procedure of that Shuddha Chaitanya, that pure consciousness, that pure awareness, then automatically this misunderstanding will disappear. Therefore, you learn that process. They say in traditional language, that is prakriya of pratyaksha jnanam. Mechanism of this awareness, which is there in our heart all the time as a jnana jyoti, that jnana jyoti mechanism you must learn. How it is functioning. How the pure consciousness only I am labeling as Venkata Chaitanya or Ramchandramurti or computer or movie or something. The same consciousness is working in different steps in different ways. If you know the mechanism, why this Shuddha Chaitanya becoming object Chaitanya, how this Shuddha Chaitanya becoming Ragadveshika Chaitanya, if you know that, then that ignorance will be dispelled and you can see the one truth and you will be settled in your own home. Therefore, this sloka, they say particularly about prakriya of that jnana process. Mechanism of the knowledge, how it is working. That Shuddha Chaitanyam, how it is working, beautifully Bhagavan Shankaracharya discussed in verse number 4. Let us see. Repeat after me. 4th verse. Nana chidra ghatodara stitamaha Deepa Prabhabhaswaram Jnanam Yasya Tu Chakshuradi Karana Dvara Bahispandate Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhati Yetat samastam jagatu Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Together. Nana chidra ghatodara stitamaha Deepa prabhabhaswaram Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana Dvara bahispandate Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhati Etat samastam jagat Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Beautiful verse. Nana chidra ghatodara stita mahadeepa prabhabhaswaram Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana dvara bahispandate Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhati etat samastam jagat. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Let us see how Shankaracharya wants to explain the process of function of awareness, Shuddha Chaitanya working style in modern language. Shuddha Chaitanya working style as Swamiji. Yes. Shankaracharya, with an example, he wants to educate us. With an example. So, what is the example he took? Nana Chidra Ghataha. Ghataha means pot. With an example of pot. Our Acharyaji always used to say, Vedanta cannot be completed without pot and without rope. Wherever go, whatever you study, these two examples, they don't leave us. Snake and rope, pot and mud. Because in those days, they are the very, very famous example. And Gurudev little he changed, he used to say that what is called ghost and post. One man confused post as a ghost and he started worrying. In the same way, we are seeing this Brahman only in the form of Jagat and we say suffering, suffering, suffering. He says post and ghost. So whatever it may be, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he took Ghata. Ghata means pot. Nice pot. What type of pot, Swamiji? Nana Chidra Ghata. This Ghata, Nana Chidra means whole. Nana Chidra means it has a number of holes. Many holes are there to that Ghatam. Nana Chidra Ghata. Example only. Okay, Swamiji, we understood. In that Nana Chidra Gata, Udarastitaha. Udarastitaha. Udara means belly. Udarastitaha means in the belly of that pot is called Udarastita. Do you know belly of pot? Yes, Swamiji, we know belly of. Many people, they also have pot belly. Their belly is like a big pot. Somebody, a joke Guruji used to say, one man wearing a beautiful, beautiful pants for all meetings and everything. Nice pants. His friend asked, Arey, you always wear nice, they call trousers. In India, we call pant and shirt. You are wearing nice the trousers, pants. From where are you getting? What is their brand name? That man said, all the time my wife only brings for me. Because of this belly, I did not see my pant belt from so long. Because he doesn't allow me to sit down. That is called pot belly for human beings. This clay pot also, Nana Chidra Ghata also, in that Ghata, Udarastita, in between that belly, what Shankaracharya ji did? Mahadeepa Prabha. He kept one very much shining candle light. Beautiful candle light he kept on the belly of the Nana Chidra Ghata. So what will happen, Swamiji? Bhaswaram. Bhaswaram means wherever you kept this Nana Chidra Ghata pot with that beautiful candle light, whole area will get light. This is the example. Nana Chitra Ghatodara Maha Deepa Prabha Bhaswaram. That Deepa Prabha is shining. Whatever comes in front of that Deepa Prabha, whatever comes in front of that light ray, it will also get light. Because it has light, it is passing through that Chitra Gata. At the same time, it is passing through out. Yes, Swamiji. It is passing through out. Whatever object comes in front of it or on its line, this object also will get light. Everybody will come to know this is the box of spectacle. This is a pen, a green pen. That is Gurudev picture. This is Krishna's idol. This is all because of that light which is coming from the Nana Chitra Gata. This is the example. Understood? Have you seen? Yes, Swamiji, we understood. We have seen also. This is called example. Drishtanta in Sanskrit. Now, the science I want to explain. He says, our body also has different holes. What are the holes, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji? Chakshuradi Karana. Their names are Jnana Indriyas, starting from Chakshuhu. Chakshuradi Karana. Karana means Bahikarana. Jnanendriyas. What are the Jnanendriyas? Chakshuhu Adi. Eyes, nose, skin, ear, and tongue. These are the holes for this physical body. Like that Nana Chitra Gata, we also have holes. Swamiji, it is sounding like not a good way. I want to close. You cannot close. If you close, you will be closed. We cannot say anything. This is the mechanism. That's why I said it is a mechanism of knowledge, how it is working. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, you also have different holes. They are called Chakshuhu Adi Karana. Admitted. So Swamiji, what happening? Jnanam yasyatu chakshuradi karana bahihi spandate. What is happening through these holes? These holes are not like holes for the wall or holes for the what we call wood. So what is happening, Swamiji? From these holes, Jnanam is passing from every individual. From this holes also Jnanam passing. From this holes also Jnanam passing. And this holes, this hole, everywhere. Jnanam. Bahihi spandate. Knowledge is coming out of all our holes. Knowledge. Swamiji. See how gross-minded we are. Actually, from the eye drops, what water will come, Swamiji, sneezing will come, this come, that come, we say. That is impurity from our physical system. Very, very bad thinking. That is not matter here. Here, knowledge is coming from all the holes of this physical body. And you know, like same, compare that example, how light is coming from each hole, in the same way, knowledge is coming from each hole. This is step number 2 in this process. Step number 1 is, we also have Nana Chitra Gata. Nana Chitra Gata. Step number 2 is, from all these holes, knowledge is coming out. Knowledge is coming out. Step number 3 is, when knowledge is coming out of from these holes, Depending upon the nature of that whole, whatever comes in front of it, whatever the worldly object comes in front of it, spandate. Spandate means it will react to it. This is mechanism. For example, this object comes in front of eyes. It can say it is a green color Jnanam yasyatu chakshuradikarana dvara bahihi spandate. In step number 3, whatever object comes in front of that particular dwaram, in particular dwaram means on the way of that jnanendriya, spandate. Spandate means it reacts. Spandate. This is a step number 3, how that pure consciousness only coming out of from these gates and interacting with the world. Bahihi spandate. Then what happens, Swamiji, in step number 4, in this mechanism of how this pure consciousness is working, step number 4 is, then what happens? Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji saying, Janami iti. It happens. In the process of that acquisition of knowledge, mechanism of knowledge, the 4th step is, then another thing will come that is called, we ourselves will say, Janami iti. Janami means I know. Janami means I know. Iti. Iti means it will happen. This is the 4th step. Then only we can say in Buddhi, this is pen. I know. I know means you need not tell openly. You don't write on the book. But you will come to know about this object. That is called Janami iti meaning. That knowledge will happen in our Buddha. How many types, Swamiti, this Janami iti also happens? They say 5 types of knowledge will register. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Because we have 5 gates. These 5 gates will give that knowledge of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, and we say, I came to know it. Janami iti. So these are the 4 steps of our Shuddha Chaitanya coming out, the way it is coming out. We have knowledge gates. They are called Jnana Indriyas, 5. This knowledge all the time comes out of from all the gates. And it doesn't keep quiet. 3rd one is Spandate. Spandate means it reacts to that world. That is the greatest blessing of the knowledge. If it doesn't have that spandana, if it doesn't have, as the world is not there for us. And this spandana gives knowledge of the world, and finally that there only we say, I know. Janami iti. Okay, na? Okay. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he wants to conclude, or he wants to give one bottom line for the entire process. That bottom line, he says, Tameva bhantam anubhati etat. My dear Chaitanyam, my dear Shuddha Chaitanyam, pure consciousness, Tameva bhantam. Tameva means you and you alone is lighting. Bhantam means you and you only that prakashaka vastu. Tameva bhantam. Anubhati. Anubhati means because of your presence, because of your blessing, because of your shining only, Anubhati etat, this entire world becoming that light. If you are not there, Who will label whom? The Indriyas cannot label anything because their backlight is stopped. Even object also cannot say, see me, taste me, touch me, or whatever. That is also Jada only. They are also Jada only. The one and only source of light, Dhat Shuddha Chaitanya, you only. Tameva Bhantam, Anubhati Etat. Anubhati means because of which, because of whose support, everything getting light. Anubhati Etat. What is this Etat, Swamiji? Samastam Jagat. The entire world getting light, getting awareness, getting illumination. Samastam Jagat. This is all because of Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Etat Samastam Jagat. This is the mechanism, working style of that pure consciousness only. Who is that? Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. That is none other than my teacher. That is none other than the God. That is none other than my own self. See, pure consciousness, it doesn't have any kind of labeling. And it is same for everyone. It is same for Devendra. It is same for Brahaspati, same for Brahma, Ishvara, Vishnu. It is same for king. It is same for the beggar. Dhat Shuddha Chaitanya is common to everyone. And that is the one and only truth. When that Shuddha Chaitanya passes through different types of gates, gates have different qualities, different names, different properties, everything. When Shuddha Chaitanya, it falls on a gate of intellect, in that intellect, we have different types of knowledge, vision, and we say, because of this light, that Buddhi Dwaram, that gate of intellect, started working. And in that working style, we forget about that light, we will catch that labeling. He is very bright, Swamiji. He is very dull, Swamiji. He is very active, Swamiji. He is very inactive. These are all the properties of that particular Buddhi. When the same light passes through the gate of mind, then that is called emotional world. What a beautiful values Swamiji he has. What an ugly values he has. These are the properties of that particular gate. But the fact is, with the presence of the supreme light only, it can work. If it stops, it cannot work. But avidya, what I said, avidya always wants to know these names and forms and plurality, quality, these are all. It doesn't allow us, because of which this gate is working. And after that 5 gates we have, they are called Jnanendriyas. The same consciousness, when it passes through the eyes, we say it is called Drishti Jnanam. When the same consciousness, when it passes through the nose, it is called Smell Jnanam, Ruchi Jnanam, Shabda Jnanam, Sparsha Jnanam. But the Jnanam, whatever you are using, that Jnanam is Chaitanya, Brahma only. Because of these gates, it works 5 times. And then through these gates, it enters into that world. How it enters, Swamiji? Whatever comes in front of to that particular gate, it will respond, because that is the power of the knowledge. Prana also comes every day out of this gate, but it is a Jada Vastu. Prana cannot give spandana to objects. It doesn't know what is happening. But whereas this knowledge, it is very, very powerful, because of which only entire world is working. It says, this is this object, because in front of him, in front of that gate, that object stood. We give life to that object. I came to know you. We say, I came to know you. It cannot say, please see me, please enjoy me. That depends on our, and this knowledge will come. That is called Janami. Then we can say, I know this world. This is the, what we call, Prakriya of Jnana. Mechanism how the Shuddha Chaitanya only getting different labels. And we forgot this core of this knowledge, source of this entire play, and we entangled with the different, many people, they are at the level of sense organs only. Few people, they can penetrate to that emotional world of myself. Very, very few penetrate, or they can reach that intellectual sheath. And the great seeker, very subtle buddhi wala, Shuddha Jnana wala, Sattvika student, he can penetrate and he can see the great reality, that great light, that great awareness, because of which entire, and when his buddhi, when his intellect is knowing this truth, then all types of misconceptions, raga, dvesha, ishta, aishta, all kind of negativity will be washed away on its own, because that is all false only. That is all like a snake dancing on a rope, which is not there. Then the other thing is, this Shuddha Chaitanya is same everywhere. Because of my ignorance, I may say that is big good, this is small, that is good, this is bad. That is all because of intellectual labeling only. That's why he said, Tameva Bhantam. We don't have two lights, my God. We have one and only light, that is called this Shuddha Chaitanyam. Because of your presence, Anubhati Sarvam Yetat Jagat. The entire world is getting light. This is the process. That's why in our Arti also we say, Natatra Suryo Bhati Nachandra Tarakam. Nema Vidyito Bhanti Kutoyam Agni. Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam. Tasya Bhasa Sarvam Idam Vibhati. Even sun is getting his existence because of my presence. Natatra Suryo Bhati Nachandra Tarakam. We say they are all the lights of the world, Swamiji. What lights of the world? Lights of the world is this Chaitanyam only. As long as this Chaitanyam is there, so long this world will be there. So long world can shine. Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Tasya Bhasa Sarvam Idam Vibhati. Your light only making everything illuminated. This is the main principle Bhagavan wants to say in this verse number 4. Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam Etat Jagatu. See how nice it is. That light, that Shuddha awareness, pure consciousness, 24/7 it is serving. Even in your deep sleep also, because of its presence only, you can enjoy deep sleep. It is making illumined that deep sleep. That's why when we came out of from the deep sleep, we say, I slept well. That is the substratum, support, adhara for the entire Jagruta, Swapna, Shushupti, and then world, everything. This is called Vedanta Drishti, to locate, to identify that purity in knowledge. Gurudev, that's why he always used to call, that is none other than principle of knowledge. Not knowledge of anything. Knowledge by itself. Knowledge by itself is called that Atma Chaitanyam. Same thought in Upanishads also they said. In Mundakopanishad it is said. In Mundakopanishad they say, we have 7 gates. Out of the 7 gates, all the time 7 flames are coming. From the Natra, he says there are 2 gates, 4, 5, 6, and here also we have 1 gate. That way he says. From all the 7 gates, all the time this flame of knowledge is coming out and it is touching the world and making me to know the world. Then only I can say I know this world. That supreme core you can call Jnana Jyoti. That's why in traditional language they call it as Jnana Jyoti Prasarana Vidhanam. Mechanism behind in the flow of the knowledge from Atma to Jagat. Principle is Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam. Because of you only world getting light, not because of world you are getting light. That is the Vedanta thinking. Thank you. We can see some more study regarding this Chaitanya Vastu. How to study it. Because the bottom line is that Chaitanya is me. My reality is that. That's why I have to study. Today, little we studied, and tomorrow, next class, we will study some. I want to do one bhajan. Swamiji. This is bhajan of Bhagavan Shankara, Shiva. Chinmaya Mission bhajan, little nice bhajan. Daya karo Bhagavan Shankara, daya karo Bhagavan. Daya karo Bhagavan Shankara, daya karo Bhagavan. Trishuladhari, Trinetradhari, Gangadhari, daya karo. Trishuladhari, Trinetradhari, Gangadhari, daya karo. Daya karo Bhagavan Shankara, daya karo Bhagavan. Daya karo Bhagavan Shankara, daya karo Bhagavan. Parvati Ramana Pannaga Bhushana Vibhuti Shankara, daya karo. Parvati Ramana Pannaga Bhushana Vibhuti Shankara, daya karo. Daya karo Bhagavan Shankara, daya karo Bhagavan. Daya karo Bhagavan. Chandrasekhara Chandrakaladhara Srinilakantha, daya karo. Chandrasekhara Chandrakaladhara Srinilakantha, daya karo. Daya karo भगवान शंकर दया करो भगवान, दया करो भगवान शंकर दया करो भगवान, दया करो भगवान, दया करो भगवान। ओम हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः